Today we'll be donning the bushiest of beards and diving deep into the cavern-crawling adventures of Deep Rock Galactic. Developed by Ghost Ship Games and set to launch into early access tomorrow, February 28th for $24.99. Now that's early access on Steam, as well as Microsoft's preview program on both Windows 10 PCs and the Xbox One. This is also one of the few third-party titles making use of Microsoft's Play Anywhere system, meaning you can buy the game on Xbox One and have a copy of the game waiting for you on your Windows 10 PC. It also means you can play with players on either platform, cross-platform. Now there are currently no announced or official plans for a PlayStation 4 version, but I imagine if the game does well, it's something the team will consider once they've moved out of early access. Now they plan on keeping the game in early access for between 1 and 2 years. They say they're not quite ready to lock down an exact date or time frame, and they're making it very clear that their first order of business is to focus on expanding the experience, adding content and features, and more importantly, taking advantage of early access to build a product with the community and the feedback of the players, rather than building the whole damn thing in a vacuum and then plopping it out in the open and hoping it does well. This is the type of game that absolutely needs to have a strong community behind it, not because it's player versus player, but because it is so co-op driven. And much like Left 4 Dead over the years, I think this game will be kept alive and will be given even more life, basically based on the strength of its community. Now the good news is that even though the team is considering this current build of the game alpha, they have built a full experience here with a substantial gameplay loop and a really nice chunk of content. I do genuinely believe the current state of the game warrants its $25 entry fee, which is great to see when it comes to early access games that often launch with the bare minimum of what is required to be considered a functioning game. So, just what can and will you be doing in Deep Rock Galactic? To start, you'll be taking your sexy dwarven booty to the game's main hub at the Deep Rock Galactic mining facilities where you happen to be an employee, and selecting a class. There are currently 4 classes in the game, including the Scout, the Engineer, the Gunner, and the Driller. Each class has their own primary and secondary weapon, as well as their own unique set of tools. Now, classes can be stacked currently, but the benefit that comes from ensuring your team has each one of the classes simply cannot be overlooked. Each has their own strengths and weaknesses, and there have been plenty of situations when I was playing in co-op where the tools of one class, like the zipline for the Gunner, managed to save the rest of us in a way no other class would have been able to. There's also a pretty substantial amount of cohesion that can happen between the different classes, and learning how to use one class's toolset in combination with another class's toolset is a very powerful part of the game's meta. It is a piece of Deep Rock's design that feels absolutely on point even at this early stage. I couldn't be happier with it, and I'm looking forward to them adding more classes and further improving that class-based meta. Now once you've selected your class, you can head to the mission board and choose from a selection of rotating daily style missions that vary in location, length, and cavern complexity. Each cavern you'll explore is procedurally generated, so no 2 missions will be identical, making the navigation and exploration a huge part of the Deep Rock experience, and one of the game's earliest barriers for entry, I might add. Now once you've chosen a mission, you can decide if you'll run it solo with the assistance of a drone that can help you mine resources and even engage enemies, or get some fellow Deep Rock associates together for 2 to 4 player co-op. This is really where the game starts to shine, but I do want to commend them for showing some love for the single player experience. I think it's something that people are actually going to really enjoy doing, and I could see this game sort of even maybe having a bit of a speedrunning community. I know that traditionally speedrunning goes for games that can be sort of broken down, but I could see people just trying to do really fast runs solo in this game. I just feel like that'd be something that would be a lot of fun because of the game's procedural generation. Now, once you've decided how you're going to play, you'll then select a difficulty for that mission, which will influence the payout if you're successful. Now, while I do think the procedural generation system needs some fine-tuning, as certain biomes are currently more difficult than others because of their layouts and environmental hazards, I absolutely love just how many difficulty options there are here. There's even a tourist mode that offers no payout, but allows players to go on a more relaxed cave dive where they can focus on exploration and terrain navigation before dealing with the additional difficulty of the bugs. And that leads us perfectly, almost like I planned it or something, to the first stage of a cave dive in Deep Rock: exploration, navigation, and mining. The whole point of a mission in Deep Rock is to mine a certain quantity of a specific resource. Each mission will also include a bonus resource that can be harvested for a boosted payout at mission's end. It may all sound simple enough, but mining a resource like Morkite will quickly put your terrain navigation skills to the test. Each and every cavern has its own array of natural obstacles to overcome, from massive chasms to near bottomless stovepipes and winding tunnels that dive deeper and deeper into the unknown. In order to harvest all of the resources you'll need to complete a mission, you're going to have to work together. This is a co-op game after all, or at least work with your drone, and use every tool in each class at your disposal to their maximum. This is also the most relaxed and least stressful stage of Deep Rock. I mean, yeah, you could die at any moment, one wrong step, a slip of your hand off the zipline, and you could go splat on the floor 100 meters down, but teammates can resurrect you from a down position, and there's really something quite serene about bopping your way across chasm after chasm, putting together plan after plan to reach that last bit of Morkite, or the next vein of Nitro to call in a resupply, or perhaps dig for some more sugar to get your health back up to 100%. It's very much the calm before the storm, and since there's no time limit in Deep Rock, at least at this point in the mission, your only real concern is the bugs.
Whoa, what the hell? Fucking cave leech. Oh no.
I'm trying to decide which way to go with it.
Yeah, right.
I'm just gonna use one. The swarm is here. Yep, here it is. Holy shit.
This is the point where Deep Rock gets a little bit more stressful. At some point during your run, the many bugs that fill the caverns of these worlds will gather their forces and make a push to remove the players from their lair. It's this moment where you remember Deep Rock is a shooter, and suddenly things go all left for dead. You'll be doing your best to regroup and find a safer location to defend yourself from these insectoid hordes. The bugs themselves actually come in quite a few flavors as well, each with their own attack types and defense systems. Smaller bugs will harass you in large groups, biting at your ankles almost endlessly. Larger soldier types will form small squads and push you head on. Others will snipe you with poison or blinding webs from a distance, and the larger bugs will use their armored fronts like tanks to smash and pin the player. Once again, you'll need to work as a team, using your weapons and tools as effectively as possible to conserve resources and ammunition and kill the bugs as efficiently as possible. Perhaps you'll find yourself kiting a Praetorian where one player shoots its unarmored butt, or using a zipline to get to higher ground. These are perfect examples, but let the gunner in your group run out of ammo, and find yourself without the necessary nitro to call in a resupply before the next wave of bugs arrives, and it could lead to your entire squad's demise, and it's almost guaranteed to do so on higher difficulty runs. Now, once your team meets the mission quota, which generally takes anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes depending on the complexity and length of the mission, and whether or not you choose to hunt down any bonus objectives, you'll prepare to smack the big red button on your mule and extract. This is the climax of your story, the moment when all hell genuinely breaks loose. A new extraction pod will be marked on your map, and your mule will automatically move to it, marking a path along the way with bright green torches. A flashing timer will appear on the screen, and you and your team will do their best to make their way as quickly and as safely as possible back up and out of the cave you just spent the last 20 minutes diving deep into. Along the way, the bugs are going to send out one last swarm looking to cut you off and seal you in the caves forever. It's the perfect end to an adventure that's going to be filled with ups and downs, moments of calm and moments of chaos. Making your way almost flawlessly across a zipline you just so happen to leave behind right where you needed it to be, and extracting as a massive horde of bugs is still hot on your tail is exhilarating, stressful, and a hell of a lot of fun. After the mission is completed, you'll earn experience to level up your class, as well as your overall mining level, which will allow you to gain access to more missions on the mission board each day. Credits and valuable resources you mine in the cavern will also be added to your inventory, allowing you to upgrade class gear with bonuses and craft and equip cosmetics like new beard and armor sets. Now at the moment, the upgrades in the cosmetics are a bit light. It's generally things like adding more ammunition to your weapon or giving you ammunition that does more damage. Each class can also upgrade their pickaxe and their torches and their armor. I definitely want to see them expand on this and maybe have even more unique upgrades for the different weapons and tools, but again, it's something they said they are planning to expand upon. Now, Deep Rock really paints a striking picture for its players with its gameplay loop, but more importantly, it brings that picture to life with its minimalist yet atmospherically rich visual design direction. For every simple polygon used to make the game's characters and caverns, there's substantial and wonderful effort put into the game's lighting, shadows, particle effects, smoke and fog, and so much more. Popping off a light stick and watching it tumble down a dark, unexplored passageway, light reflecting off of vain available resources along the way, creates a powerful connection between the player and the game world. This is some outstanding world building here. Each biome further diversifies and brings the caverns to life, and they all have their own natural architecture and environmental hazards, making them immediately recognizable and unique. From magma chutes to stunning underground crystal forests and even self-photosynthesizing plant life. Did I mention it's all destructible? Each and every centimeter of Deep Rock caverns can be dug up and out. Make your own pathways, tunnels, and shortcuts. The caverns are truly yours to explore and hopefully profit from. Now currently, as I mentioned earlier, my biggest issue with Deep Rock, my biggest piece of feedback revolves around its difficulty and the fact that it can be further affected or multiplied by the natural difficulty of certain cave biomes. It's likely just a matter of fine-tuning to ensure the caves are generated more in line with their complexity rating, but currently the daily mission cycle also results in instances where new players will only have access to missions that are rated at 3 out of 3 on the complexity and length scale. It would be great if the game ensured lower complexity and length missions were available for lower level players, at least for the few levels where the player learned the ins and outs of the different classes and mechanics. Perhaps the game could even extend its tutorial, which is only one single player mission, to offer 3 or more curated missions to give the player a more simplified set of environments to learn in before tossing them out into the procedural abyss. This at this point in time is really my only genuine concern or feedback, that a lot of people are going to hop into the game and be turned away, because honestly the first couple missions you play can be downright brutal and devastating, and if you just get kind of a rough seed or it throws some really difficult enemies at you for some reason, I really think this could push a lot of people away from the game, and they could come across kind of being like, wow, this is way too hard, even on the easiest difficulty setting. So I would just like to see them fine-tune that a little bit more, and again, maybe throw in some additional tutorial levels where players can better get to grip with the basics of the game itself. Now, as I mentioned, this is early access, so what does the team plan on adding in the future? If you're interested in that sort of thing, they are going to be looking to do more game modes outside of the basic sort of get in, loot, and get out game mode. They're looking to expand the cave system to make more separate biomes within the biomes themselves. They also want to add more tools, gadgets, and equipment, so potentially one class like the Scout could actually have a custom set or a player-chosen set of gadgets and equipment, different weapons, different tools, so on and so forth. They also want to add more classes, each with access, again, to their own unique gear, and they want to continue to improve and expand and create a deep and meaningful metagame. Deep Rock is quite the little gem in my opinion. It reminds me so much of Left 4 Dead in its co-op design decisions, but it is much more unique. It sets itself apart from the other co-op experiences that have been on the market over the last 10 years now, and it's a game that I just want to see do well. I've had a lot of fun with it, actually. Again, the learning curve can kind of smack you in the face, especially considering just how much there is to learn and do right when you get thrown into the game, but after just 2 or 3 missions, it all kind of comes a little bit more natural, and you can actually focus on exploration and searching for the resources you need at any given time. And the dwarves themselves actually have some pretty good personalities. I like sort of the theme of the universe. The dwarves are all kind of like hardy and grumbly, like, oh, Deep Rock needs to get some better equipment. Your dwarf is going to constantly be cursing out the mule as it calls for it. Get your tin can butt over here. It's just, I don't know. It's fun. It's lighthearted, but the design of the world itself feels serious and rich. It's something I could see myself investing a lot of time in, especially from a co-op perspective. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Early access tomorrow, $24.99. You can also snag it over on the Xbox One or Windows 10 PC. If you have any other questions for me about Deep Rock Galactic and its cave diving adventures, feel free to throw them down in the comment section below, and I'll see you in the next one.